So, first of all, may my homage to our Supremely Enlightened One, the Supreme Leader for the gods and humans who taught us the path to attain Nibbana, who taught us the amazing path to be free from lust, anger, and delusion one day, who taught us the path to live a fearless life, who taught us the path to live with boundless loving kindness and compassion towards all the living beings in this world. May my homage be to my Gautama, Supreme Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Respected Mahasangha and dear devotees, it's a pleasure, a great pleasure to join for a short program like this. So, to share the Buddha's teachings with many devotees from many countries, to celebrate the Vesak full moon Boya Day in a meaningful way. So, when it comes to the Vesak full moon Boya Day, so when we call it as Vesak, you all know. When we say it as the full moon day, you know. And we have added one more thing, you call it the Boya Day. So, Boya Day, we have dedicated that day, the full moon day, each and every full moon day in the month. When we take the history of the Buddha's dispensation, most of the significant things happen on a full moon Boya Day. On a full moon Boya Day. So one of the main and the most important significant things that happened, that took place on a full moon Boya Day, was the Buddha's birth, Buddha's enlightenment, and the great passing away. It's not just a passing away, it's a great passing away. In Pali, we can call it as Mahaparinibbana. Mahaparinibbana. So, around 2645 years ago, the young baby boy was born in the Lumbini Salpak. When the mother wanted to deliver the baby, Queen Mahamaya, when the mother was going to Devdaha city, in the middle of the Sal Park, the queen wanted to get off from the carriage and see the Sal Park. And then the queen saw a beautiful branch, a sal tree. And then when the queen wanted to touch and hold on to that branch, the branch bent towards the queen's side. So the queen was able to hold on to the branch easily. Amazing. See, now, not yet the baby boy was born. Before coming to the world, the branches are also bending for the mother to hold on. When all the mothers deliver the baby while they are lying down, this young baby boy's mother delivered the baby when the mother was standing. Even today, you can see these significant things. Why past few days we saw a baby boy started walking just after he was born. Then the baby boy came out from the mother's womb, and the baby boy did not touch the mother's womb, and the mother's womb did not touch the baby boy's body. The baby boy was born unsullied. What an amazing thing. And then when he was born, the gods were waiting to accept him. The great Brahmas were waiting to see him. And the moment he was born, he wanted to keep his step on the earth and walk. But the earth could not let this young baby boy to keep the foot on the bare earth. Lotuses bloomed from the great earth. For each and every step he kept, a lotus bloom from the earth. All these things happen because of completing 10 perfections. As a result of completing 10 perfections, as a result of completing generosity, not practicing, completing generosity, as a result of completing virtue, as a result of completing renunciation, kindness, as a result of completing equanimity, the way our Buddha in past lives, the way the Bodhisattva practiced equanimity was amazing. The simile is like this. Imagine there's a huge rock. How much the wind blows, how much the wind blows, the mountain will not shake. Just like that, our Bodhisattva, before becoming a Buddha, he practiced equanimity. That means being neutral. That's just one way of practicing the perfection. And then the way he practiced generosity, the way he completed generosity was just like turning a water pot upside down. When you turn a pot filled with water upside down, not a single drop of water will remain. That means there was nothing in his life, in his past life, thinking, okay, this I will keep, and this I will give, and this I will not give. There were no such thoughts in his mind throughout the journey of practicing the 10 perfections. Even when he was born as an animal, he had qualities. He had qualities better than human beings. So, fulfilling 10 perfections. Before I go to the next one, I'll add one more thing. The way the Bodhisattva means a person who is going to become a Buddha. The way he completed his loving kindness was like this. Just like water cleanses good people and bad people both, just like water cleanses any human being, any object in this world, the Bodhisattva's loving kindness was towards everyone in this world boundless. The simile was just like water. Therefore, dear Dhamma friends, the only refuge for us to be free from lust, anger, and delusion, the one and only refuge to follow good qualities is from a great person like this. By fulfilling 10 perfections, when the baby boy was born, the nature is there to accept him. It's like this, dear Dhamma friends. Buddha has said, imagine a person is uh, a person is coming back from a foreign country to his native country. Imagine you all are living, maybe you are living in Canada. Your native country is Canada. You are going to a foreign country. And then after a couple of years, when you come back, will your relatives uh, reject you? The relatives will be waiting to accept you with flowers, with a joyful mind. In the same way, when you do wholesome deeds after completing the 10 perfections, when the baby boy was born to become a Buddha, the nature even accepted in an amazing way. On the day he was born, all the flowers were bloomed in all the plants. The nature changed. Now see, even today we can see some people are living in streets. Some people are living in beautiful hillside areas, in beautiful places. Some people are living near uh, garbage, where people dump garbage. People are living in those areas. Some people are living in slums. Even today, you can see a variation among the happiness of human beings. how the nature support that person. Then when the Buddha was born, the Bodhisattva, the baby boy, he kept 7 steps ahead and raised the hand and uttered these amazing verses. I will become the greatest person to the world. I'll become the chief. I will become a leader to the world. This will be my last birth. There is no more rebirth for me. Now, all of us have passed the age of, we have passed the prime age. Most of here have passed the middle age also. Were we able to say this stanza, at least in our middle age, at least for our birthdays, without hearing the Buddha's teachings, may this be my last birth, and there is no rebirth? Were we able to come up with such idea? No. Okay, I'll buy this time. Next time I will buy that. Maximum you will try to think of becoming a president or a minister or a prime minister or a boss in a company. Those are the things we see from our naked eyes. So from the things we see from the naked eye, we develop thoughts. From the things we see from our naked eye, we develop wishes and aims in life. But Buddha saw something beyond the naked eye. How he was able to see something beyond the naked eye? He was able to see something spiritually through his developed mind. What we see is from birth to death, the things happening in this world. But after that baby boy was grown up, after the baby boy came to the age of 29 years, he saw these 4 signs. Most of you all know the 4 signs. Old person, sick person, dead body, and a monk. Then this prince thought, if I am not exempt from these 4 dangers, no point living as a prince. No point becoming a wheel-turning monarch. This human life, this precious human life, I should not waste a single second. I should find a way that I can escape from suffering and also to help others to escape from suffering. See the compassion. Compassion means, dear Dhamma friends, you feel the other's sadness, you feel the other's sorrow, and then until you help that person, you can't bear it, you can't stand. So those are qualities. What if your husband and wives have these qualities? Compassion. Then there is no way and no chance to quarrel. If your children also have these qualities, amazing. Then after seeing these signs, he wanted to become a monk and find a path. And then at the age of 29 years, left the palace without knowing a place to go, without knowing a place to stay, without knowing what to do even, without knowing a teacher even. Now, when we go from one country into another country, we book our hotels, we plan everything, we accumulate money, we do many things. But then this young prince who was born with so much comfort, he was able to give up the entire royal happiness and the comfort within a small second, with a fraction of a second, and gave up that, just like spitting away phlegm and saliva. He gave up the royal comfort. And after giving up the royal comfort, in the deep forest, in the first 7 days after leaving the royal palace, he enjoyed the happiness of giving up sensual pleasures. He enjoyed the happiness of seclusion for 7 days. Enjoyed the happiness of seclusion for 7 days in a forest, no place to stay, no food to eat, do not know what to eat next, do not know what to eat tomorrow, and do not know where to go, but yet enjoying the blissful nature of living a secluded life in a forest, who was living in a royal family. This prince was able to do this because he has completed the 10 perfections. And then he went to teachers. He found that all these teachers are teaching a Dhamma to be born again. And then he recognized that. He had wisdom to recognize that. And then he similes occurred to his mind. He thought, well, if a piece of a wood is in water, you can use that wood to make fire. And if the wood is wet, even that wooden piece, from that wooden piece, you can develop fire. And then he thought, if a wood is dry, if a piece of wood is dry, then with a gadget that you can put fire, you can produce fire. And then he made his mind dry. Not with what he made his mind dry, with wholesome qualities. The way he made his mind amazing is like a dried wood. The Bodhisattva was able to give up the desire for sensual pleasures. And he gave up the extreme nature of giving pain to the body. And he gave up the extreme nature of engaging in sensual pleasures and followed the Noble Eightfold Path with right views, with right thinking, with right speech, right action, with right livelihood, with the right effort, with right mindfulness, and then was able to gain the right concentration. So on a Vesak full moon Poya day, around 2610 years ago, on a day like Vesak, when the moon was bright, on a full moon Poya day, when the sky was shining bright, when the clouds were shining bright, when the sky was clear, when the devas were watching and waiting to see a great person to appear to help beings to overcome lust, anger, and delusion. Even when the Brahmas were waiting for a person to help the beings to overcome lust, anger, and delusion, a brave person who has given up a royal comfort has seated under a Bodhi tree with great effort, thinking, whatever remain, may it remain. What would remain? Muscles, bones, whatever remain, may those things remain. Whatever get dried up, may those things get dried up. Blood can get dried up. The phlegm, water in the body, muscles can get dried up. May these muscles get dried up. With great effort of a great being, with the power of completing the 10 perfections, the Bodhisattva sat under the Bodhi tree. Close his eyes. He remembered the breathing meditation he practiced when he was in the prime age, when the father was doing the ploughing festival. The Bodhisattva remembered the breathing meditation he practiced. And then he closed his eyes. And then he contemplated. And he was watching his own breath. And while he was watching his own breath, he was able to give up all the other unnecessary thoughts that's running in the mind. Why? He is focusing only to the breath. Gradually, when the mind was focusing towards the breath continuously, the mind got concentrated. When the mind got concentrated, the Blessed One, the Bodhisattva, when he was trying hard, the Mara came. And then the earth witnessed. And then the Mara was defeated. And then the Bodhisattva, by developing the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, the Blessed One was able to, the Bodhisattva was able to see the past lives. We couldn't see that. That's why we are in the same place. We think, okay, I haven't done that yet. I haven't do this yet. When I'm going to do that, when I'm going to get this, We are struggling and planning and daydreaming and struggling a lot and fighting and quarreling to achieve things. That's because we have forgotten that these things what we are achieving in this life, we have achieved even in our past lives. That's why these amazing and beautiful young monks have become monks, knowing that all these sensual pleasures have been enjoyed in past lives. Even an ant living in this world has become a wheel turning monarch in the past lives. It was said by the Buddha, not by me. One day, 7 ants were moving together in one line. Then Buddha smiled and said to the bhikkhus, "Dear bhikkhus, look at these ants, 7 ants. All of these 7 ants has become a wheel turning monarch in the past lives." Then, dear Dhamma friends, Buddha, the Bodhisattva under the Bodhi tree, illuminating the great earth, the Bodhisattva is now recollecting the past lives, one life, another life. Then he can remember the name. He can remember the clan. He can remember the place he was born. He can remember the mother and father. Then he was able to see how he died, how he was born, the way he suffered. Then he realized, my goodness, there's nothing to cling to this world. Meeting the same person again and again with a different appearance. He thought, is it only me who's suffering like this? Then he was able to develop his knowledge to Chutupapatanyana, and then he was able to see the destiny and the nature of being born and dead of other beings, how other beings are born and dead. So when the Bodhisattva looked at other beings, the Bodhisattva saw the destiny, the miserable journey, not a lovely journey we are going, a miserable journey, accumulating karma, breaking precepts, hating others, taking revenge, backbiting, trying to be proud, trying to be selfish, trying to be unique, not in qualities, try to uh, try to be like unique and show off. All these things occurs in human beings. People have forgotten that these things are unwholesome. Cunning, wickedness, greediness, all the bad thoughts were shown by a Buddha. See how true it is. Now all these things we have in our mind. That's why Buddha saw these things. Buddha was able to see others' mind. And it is true. Now we have been having this mind for more than 30, 40 years. We went to the mirror every day. Did we see these unwholesome thoughts through the mirror? No, we had to wait for a Buddha to remind us. Not even our mother and father said, your anger is in your mind. Not even our school teacher said that your anger is in your mind. When we had problems, we complain, then they punish someone. The problem is solved. Punishments, how can we stop problems by punishing people? In this life, you can punish a person. Then when that person is born again with the same bad habit, he will be punished every day in each and every life. But Buddha stopped that continuous, dangerous nature. Then, dear Dhamma friends, the Blessed One, our supremely enlightened one, so all these things without a guidance of a teacher. The power is coming from the 10 perfections. The power comes through the 10 perfections. And then after looking at the nature of other beings, the Bodhisattva understood, well, all the other beings are also going the same nature. There's nothing to get attached to other people. Other people are also not under my control. Other people are also beyond control. There's no point of clinging to others. By using these great knowledges, he was able to be detached to the world. We can't realize this Dhamma right now. That's because we are still attached to the world. In the Maha Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha preaches how to see things internally and externally. Even towards the external objects and to the internal objects, we should be detached. Then, by seeing with the help of these great knowledges, the Bodhisattva, and then in the last watch of the night, in the last watch of the night, by defeating the Mara, by purifying the mind, by obtaining these great knowledges, our Siddhartha Gautama Buddha became an enlightened being in the last watch of the night by eradicating all the bad taints, all the taints in the mind. Then the Devas rejoiced, the Brahmas rejoiced. They started celebrating like they have never celebrated before. And then after becoming a Buddha, he did not have this, he was not in a hurry to preach this and become popular. First of all, he showed gratefulness. He sat under the Bodhi tree for 7 days. And then after that, he looked at the Bodhi tree for 7 days without blinking eyes. Then another 7 days did walking meditation near the Bodhi tree. Then another 7 days contemplated the deep Dhamma for 7 days. Like that, the Blessed One spent for 7 weeks. And then only he thought, my goodness, these beings are living like in a pond, in a muddy pond. They are living with defilements. How to preach this Dhamma? Then a Brahma saw this, and a Brahma came to the human world. Just like a man is bending in and bending out, just like a man is uh, unfolding a hand or folding a hand, a Brahma came to the Sahampati Brahmaraj, came to the human world and invited the Supreme Buddha to preach Dhamma. Then the Blessed One climbed to the mountain of Dhamma, looked at the beings with compassion, and then from there onwards, the Blessed One started preaching Dhamma, preached the Dhamma for 45 years. 2610 years ago, our Bodhisattva became a Buddha on a Vesak full moon poet day. And then, dear Dhamma friends, after preaching Dhamma for 45 years about mindfulness, compassion, concentration, then about the Noble Eightfold Path, then the psychic powers, after teaching all these amazing qualities to be free from lust, anger, and delusion one day, to live a virtuous life, the Blessed One passed away around 2565 years ago. The great light dispelled forever, and the world again became dark. The light of wisdom passed away. If today the Buddha was here, dear Dhamma friends, he would have taught us the amazing Dhamma by looking at our minds and the exact Dhamma that we need. We have missed that chance. The only refuge right now what we have is these amazing monks and the great Dhamma they preach from the preserved teachings. Therefore, dear Dhamma friends, go for refuge to the Supreme Buddha wholeheartedly. Let's all of us get together and go for refuge to the Supreme Dhamma taught by our Blessed One. Let's all of us get together and go for refuge to the Supreme Sangha on this Vesak full moon Poya day. And with the greatest refuge from the Triple Gems, may all of us live a virtuous life and realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.